This is Ben and Grant of Midwest Development Group, and this is Mwdg Engagements.
The focus of this video is building assaults. We are going to start at Camp Shelby in February 2019, where a large gap in our training was exposed. We will then discuss the lessons we learned and how we address this gap through our training, and show how it led to successful execution at Fort Hood in October 2019.
Leading up to Camp Shelby, our training was focused on two areas: CQB flow for clearing structures, and raid tactics to approach a building when the team has the element of surprise. We handled ourselves well whenever we were in a building, but the flow of the event called for us to attempt to breach hot buildings, which was a scenario we had not trained yet.
Break, break, break. All stations be advised, I have control of the net. We are going to start assault on building Mike. Over.
In this attempted assault on a building, our teams are split between two different structures. We coordinate over the radio and decide that Team Alpha will move on the building and Bravo will provide supporting fire. However, Bravo team is too far away for fire to be effective, and some of Alpha get hit on their approach. Bravo is also poorly positioned to join the assault and takes several hits attempting to join Alpha.
Rock. Okay, we're good here. Let's get our boys on us. Oh, I'm hit too. Oof.
Bravo is forced to stay in place and recover members. Only Trevor, Julian, Mikey, and Al from Alpha are able to breach the building. They begin making progress, flowing through each room smoothly and blocking approaches, but without the rest of the squad to back them up, they start to take hits. Eventually, the remainder of Alpha no longer has the manpower to continue the upward assault.
Hey, left side can give support by fire. Right side wants to move up.
All right, right side, let's do it.
Another ill-fated attempt begins as we work our way up this hill toward an objective building at Shelby. We know that there are two buildings near the woods, but we are not properly positioned to assault either structure. We begin to move our fire teams as a line, but get bogged down engaging both buildings. The lack of support weapons also becomes obvious as we can't provide enough firepower to cover our moves.
Yeah, we are in a bad spot. Right side needs to move, left side is only in an opening.
Right side, up and move.
We attempted to coordinate a cover and move with one team advancing on the building, but failed. Our positioning meant that Alpha was not able to put fire on the target building as Bravo moved, and we allowed ourselves to get drawn into a firefight we could not win. The squad is slowly picked apart during the firefight. If we had fallen back before taking too many casualties, we may have been able to reposition ourselves to assault the target structure or break contact. Instead, nearly everyone was eventually hit, and we had to return to base to respawn the squad. We came home from Shelby with some hard lessons learned. The team met to review the op in order to develop the next evolution of our training.
Support diamond up here. Assault diamond up there.
Training in 2019 was heavily focused on the squad level. We first trained the type of moves showcased in our previous engagements video about the squad attack. Then in the months before Fort Hood, our focus shifted to mount operations. We trained fire team movements between structures and set up an execution of a building assault from the woods.
Alpha, pick up, forward!
We ran countless drills to hammer the move home. The two fire teams serve as a support and assault element. When moving on a building, the teams bound forward by alternating fire and movement to cover the advance.
Alpha set, Bravo forward! Move!
Once they reach their position of last cover and concealment, or LCC, the support team sets a base of fire and the assault team prepares to advance from a flank.
Raj, LCC, we'll start bounding in buddy pairs. Left side forward. Move!
When the building is hot, the support fire team provides suppressive fires to keep opponents from using the windows to return fire.
Support set! Assault forward! Execute, execute, execute!
Once dominance is established, the squad leader gives the call to execute. The assault team rushes the entrance as quickly as possible to minimize the amount of time spent in the open. As the assault element moves, the support team picks up to collapse the entire squad back into a single unit to clear the building. They provide fire while moving, so the enemy cannot freely engage.
Let's do 2 more reps in our fire teams, and then we'll start mixing it up.
This move is incredibly quick and requires a high level of practice and coordination to perform correctly.
We're gonna go just straight up
up here and then hang a left after about 150, maybe 200 meters. And we're gonna go assault Cindy from the back. The big one, right?
Fort Hood, October 2019. After a long flank move through the woods to the east of the Mount site, we're in sight of our objective building. Our numbers are bolstered by 5 members of Task Force Neptune out of New York and the legendary sniper Kicking Mustang.
Everybody, we're gonna pick up an assault. You're gonna consolidate left. Me and Jay are base of fire right.
Mikey makes a final direction as squad lead to set up the move. Mustang takes out an enemy player in the second story, then Mikey calls execute and the squad's 2 LMGs open up on the windows and the roof to suppress the building. Dominance is immediately established, so the assault team rushes from the woods and quickly secures the door as Trevor sets up his blocker. As they flow into the building, Julian and Tiny collapse on the squad from their support position. The move was executed successfully. LMG fire kept the approach clear, and the entire team was able to enter the building.
The team flows through the first floor, splitting into 2 elements to circle the structure quickly and clear it out. Team members form stacks and move through the hallways. We cover multiple angles and set up blockers while the remainder of the stack clears rooms. Chris takes the deep corner and the stack enters right behind him to cover his blind spot. Momentum is maintained and the first floor is quickly cleared.
We then take the stairs to the second floor, and Grant takes down an enemy who was foolish enough to stick his arm out of an overlook.
Communication between team members is key. Mikey knows he has an enemy pinned in this room and calls for a second element to assist in the breach. The hostile is easily overpowered as 4 of us hit the room.
Flow through the second floor was smooth. However, even in situations where positive progress is being made, there is potential for mistakes. Several of the team begin flowing to the 3rd floor before the rest of the stack regroups, and there are not enough of them to cover every angle. This gives an enemy the opportunity to hit them in the back, and they are taken out. The rest of the team begins flowing up the stairs, and they apply pressure. This causes the hostile to make a bad move, and he pays for the mistake. Establishing and maintaining hallway dominance is key to making progress through the structure. When clearing hallway-fed rooms, having at least 1 team member maintain security on the remainder of the uncleared hallway helps keep the team safe and allows for momentum to be maintained. With the 3rd floor clear, we move to the roof. Trevor is hit in the doorway, so Nate fires a tag round to clear out the area. They circle the structure as Mikey clears the hatch, and the building is ours.
That's all from Building Assaults. As always, feel free to drop a comment if you want to discuss the moves.